Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the HalFilm show. It's that time of year where leaves dry up and things get cold. It's Halloween, and I thought I'd do something which I had been planning to do last year but didn't quite get round to. It's a series that was started by Adum of Your Movie Sucks, which is called Childhood Trauma. And it's a series where countless YouTubers have gone over things that have scared them as children. The subject for me in specific is wide and varied, because as a child I was scared of everything. I was scared of heights, roller coasters, bump cars, the sea, the dark, cows, horses, poison ivy, boats, big dogs, and oboes. Am I going to go on that further? No, I'm not. I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm also noticing that I have no chance of remaining any semblance of dignity after doing this video. When I release to the public the entire list of the shows that I was scared of as a children, they're embarrassing. Let's face it, no one comes on YouTube to make themselves be taken more seriously. I mean, it's just not what you do. But with no further ado, I think we should start. We have our slowed down Minecraft soundtrack, a staple of the Halloween YouTube video, almost tradition at this point. We have our Halloween headgear. We don't have any sweeties, but we do have, what are these? Sunflower seeds. Why did that take me so long? Sunflower seeds, which they're pretty nice. I quite like them. I'm getting sidetracked here. Now it's time to count down the top 10 scariest things that little buzzcut Billy just couldn't take. What is a tree-op? This. Handsome bugger, isn't he? Just a bit of warning before we begin. If any of this becomes too much for you to take, there is a technique which I have perfected. You do this when, if like the screen is in front of you, you do this. You're not moving. Everyone assumes you're just like looking at, or you look down, or you just, you know, because you're there, but you can't see it because the edge of your eyebrow is below that. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I just have like a Neanderthal slope on my head. But I think we put this off for long enough now. You don't want to hear me talking. You want to know what. Number 1. Zombies. This one is actually quite kind of understandable. I can see how maybe quite a few people would have this. And kind of transformations as well. I really had a problem with that. And while you might say that's easy to understand, and you know, people, obviously you hear lots of kids being kind of concerned about the whole Pinocchio scene where he turns into a donkey. And that, trust me, that one, I had problems with that as well. But I found no one who had even the slightest concern as a kid when they were watching the scene where the minions turn purple from Despicable Me 2. Bearing in mind, I was 11 when this happened. I should have been over this, really. It was just the way that the minions jumped when fur grew on them. I couldn't take that. I have a problem with werewolves as well. In Harry Potter, the third film, I had problems with that, with the werewolf is doing his thing. In Harry Potter 1, where Voldemort appears on the back of the guy's head, I was slightly concerned with that. Possibly for both of those ones because of the lack of good animation, but still, you kind of, you know, you get my meaning. I think another one was a show called Motor City, which was on Disney XD for a bit. I was a big fan of Disney XD. It's kind of like a driving show almost, but it's slightly futuristic, and it's kind of cyberpunk-esque as well. It's pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was a cool show. I'm happy I watched that as a kid. There's a scene where the people just turned into zombies. I don't know why. I don't know why it happened. To be fair, the tone before was a little bit eerie, but then it just happened and I did not like that at all. Similar to that was in the Clone Wars, the scene when they're on Geonosis and the clones turn into zombies. I did not like that at all, and hence in the Star Wars The Clone Wars Lego video game, when that was there, I just let my friend play the level and I sat downstairs and probably had a bowl of cereal. The Casper the Ghost film, there's a scene where the dad is looking into the mirror, and I think he sucked the ghost into his nostril, and he looks into the mirror and he first turns into an old man, then he turns into the like zombie from Tales from the Crypt. Oh no, I was not ready for that. I was certainly not ready for that. Spy Kids, the first Spy Kid, the guy who gets clay and he moulds it into someone's face and then he moulds it into something else and then they turn into these horrible things with buck teeth and stuff. Oh no, I was pretty scared with that one as well. What else? Oh yeah, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Last Crusade. That one. At the end, someone like gets the wrong grail, I think, and they turn into a zombie. Well, what are the chances? In the film Hoodwinked, I don't know, you might have seen it. It's not good. Hansel and Gretel like grow giant. They just like get really fat, and I thought that was horrific. Oh yeah. Also in Babe 2 Pig in the City, the lady has like a clown suit on and she gets really fat, and I just was a bit repulsed by that, really. I just didn't kind of ring well with me. But anyways, on to the next. Okay, now this is, well, alright, you might have seen it, you might not. It's a band advert which Xbox put out, and it's basically a guy and he gets given birth to, shoots out the window, and he like ages in the air and he turns into an old man, and then he kind of flies into his grave. I think this is kind of like similar to the fear of transformation, which, I mean, you'll see that coming up in the next kind of things on this list as well, because it was something that I had a problem with it as a child. But yeah, I didn't know it was banned, actually. I don't know what year in, but I saw it before that. I saw it at my grandparents' house, and I think it was the last thing I saw before I went to bed, and I just went to bed and I had dreams about my teeth falling out, which is not good. On to the next. You feeling uneasy? You feeling a bit shaky? Because the next thing on this list is Jimmy Neutron. I can't explain why this frightened me as much as it did. It shouldn't have. I've watched the scene recently and I can't understand. I can't understand why I was so scared of it. But I was. It's the scene from the Jimmy Neutron movie, which I believe is just called Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. And I quite like Jimmy Neutron as a kid, actually. The plot of the film is basically the parents get kidnapped by aliens which are like shaped like eggs, and they fly in rubber chickens, and they're just egg themed, I guess. And they kidnap all the parents because they want them to dance, which is going to summon a creature from its egg. And the dance bit was something apparently I was a bit kind of shocked by. I don't know why. The animation wasn't very good in that film either. I think that might have had something to do with it. In all fairness, I didn't have any nightmares about this. I remember other moments that film left me a bit shocked as well. A bit where once the parents have gone, I think all the kids go to the theme park and have some fun there, and I think one of the theme park rides has like a mouth and the kids go into the mouth, and that scared me a bit. On to the next. I'm deaf now. This one's not too surprising, but this is a scene which I have kind of been scared of it until recently, until I watched the Polar Express last year. And what it basically is it's the puppet scene. It's when he goes into a carriage and there are these puppets that dangle down at him, and I think the controller is in charge of them, is like controlling them, and it just like popped down. I was scared of. I had like, you know, problems with jump frights as well. Jump frights. That whole kind of film makes me a bit uneasy because the animation is quite kind of poor, and there's that uncanny valley kind of thing which the mocap does. In the Christmas Carol, there's this bit where the ghost of Christmas Present, he dies, and it's kind of a bit scary, and he's got these children under his cloak. It's really weird. It's a weird film. I wouldn't really recommend it because it's just, it's again it's that uncanny valley thing. It's like, it's not quite right. Like it looks human, but it's just the animation style is bad, and the movement of the thing's really janky, and not good. Not good. Would not recommend. On to the next. So, Doctor Who, lots of children have problems with Doctor Who, like I'm aware of. This is... And as a young kid, I didn't really watch Doctor Who. I liked the whole kind of sci-fi kind of side to things, and the aliens and things, so I thought that was pretty cool. But I just couldn't watch it. Everyone's got their episode of Doctor Who, which just sticks with them. My one was the adipose episode. These stupid little marshmallow things which pop out of people's stomachs. They're like fat, and then they come out of you, and then they run off. I found that concept a bit weird, so I guess I probably wouldn't have liked Alien at that age much. And that links back to the transformation fear, I guess, because it's like something turning into something else. I had, needless to say, problems with the Weeping Angels, which I never watched. I still haven't watched. I'm an imitation of a man. Something else was an episode called The Waters of Mars, and that was where there were these really freaky looking zombies. I didn't even watch it. I didn't even watch the episode. I saw a poster on a cinema advertising it, and I saw the zombies, and I was freaked out, and I couldn't watch it. You know, I mean, I don't think I've even watched it now. Yeah, just like the image. Something I didn't even watch, but God, it traumatized me. Alright, now we have Star Wars. Now, Star Wars is something that I really liked as a kid. I was a massive Star Wars fan, but I was scared of the films. Certain details, might I bear in mind, but nearly all the Star Wars films I had problems with in some way or another. I'm going to go in order from the first prequel to the last original, just because it's easier. First one, The Phantom Menace, I didn't have any problems with. Number 2, Attack of the Clones, I remember I was scared of the bit at the beginning where there's this assassin who tries to kill Padme, and then Obi-Wan and Anakin try and chase after him, and then they get her, and then it's the lizard lady, and God, I really hated that. I've got a big problem with like big eyes, I think, like in characters, especially with that. Episode 5, Empire, the bit where Luke goes into the cave and he has to fight Darth Vader, and then it turns out it's him. And then also the bit when in the cave and the Mynock, the cave bat, jumps onto the window. And then for Return of the Jedi, yeah, I was scared of the bit where Darth Vader takes off his helmet and he's like a pale man, and I was scared of that. I was also scared of the part of Empire where he takes off his helmet as well, and it's just like a pink, fleshy thing. I don't think either of those things particularly stayed with me, but they were just kind of things where I knew if I was going to watch any of those films, there would be something, so I would kind of go for one of the tamer ones, like Phantom Menace or A New Hope, because the other ones would scare me a bit, especially Attack of the Clones, which is something I didn't watch a lot. When it was on and I was around my friend's house, I kind of said, oh, can we watch something else? I don't really like that. It's not a very good one. On to the next. The next one is Wallace and Gromit Attack of the were-rabbit. And the whole film was quite kind of scary. It's got this kind of tone, this foreboding tone that something's gonna happen, but you don't know what it is. On to the next. Okay, this one really scared me. This one left deep impressions, which makes sense because there are only 2 more to go. So, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Tim Burton one, for your information, the bit where the fat boy, I don't know what his name is, I can't say anything other than the fat boy, because he's a fat boy and he loves chocolate. Was the name Prune? I don't know. Someone gets made big, which is, it's the transformation fear again. I've got a serious problem here. And she just turns into a massive blueberry, and it's just horrible. This is something that affected me a lot, but I have gotten over. And it is... It's a scene from Winnie the Pooh. I don't understand why this scared me so much. There's a scene where the rabbit is in the woods, and there is a frog and there's a caterpillar, and they're both making sounds, and he's lost, and he hears them, and he gets freaked out, and his eyes do weird stuff. I've rewatched it, obviously, not scary. There's nothing about it that I find scary, but apparently other people find it scary too, because the video in the description says this is a scene that used to scare me as a kid from Winnie the Pooh. You know, I don't know why. I've conquered my fear. It's a really short scene as well. And then another bit, it's like the Heffalumps and Woozles song, and I was really scared of that. And it's just what it is. He's in a flood and he sleeps and he comes out of his body and he's haunted by these really weird things which twist, and they're the Heffalumps and the Woozles, and they jump around him and they terrify him. And it's the way that their body morphs into different shapes, I think. Obviously now I can appreciate that's a really nice piece of animation, but back then I was really scared of it. I haven't had any lasting effects from that. But Cat in the Hat is the first film I ever watched, but also there is no film that has terrified me as much as Cat in the Hat. It was a plague to my dreams. I'm not kidding. It was inescapable. I couldn't stop thinking about it as a kid. As a little kid, I rewatched the film so many times because I was trying to get rid of the fear, I guess, to try and drain it out of me. And there are quite a few things in it that are unsettling. I think the look of the Cat in the Hat is pretty alarming, but the thing that scared me more than any of that was first scene where you see the cat, where he appears from underneath the bed. It's something which has kind of stuck with me, and I have had a lot of dreams about this. I did as a child, and it was about some kind of dark fur brushing past my window, which was just kind of horrifying. I got over it eventually, but even now I'm still scared of Cat in the Hat. I won't lie, I am. I think it kind of came together with my biggest fear. Was my biggest fear. I think I've gotten over it now, but my biggest fear, which was gollywogs. What is a gollywog? A gollywog is a racist black doll, which is it's just so bizarre that would kind of scare me. But I think it was a thing with the eyes being really kind of big that stuck with me a lot and really kind of alarmed me, and the furry kind of black shape mixed with the Cat in the Hat to produce this horrible thing which I would see in my dreams. It would be in the corner in the shadows, and I'd look and it wouldn't be there, and it would be somewhere else, and it would sort of follow me around. It was certainly a problem for me. That was the most scared I've been of anything, really. I think that's all now. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you listened or watched, and if you had any of these fears as well, let me know. Say in the comments, because I'd be surprised actually. Some zombie stuff maybe, but Cat in the Hat, I think it's pretty unique. I would say what things I've got planned in the future, but as you probably know by now, probably won't happen if I say it's going to happen, so just kind of enjoy things as they come. They might come a bit far and few between. I'm not going to say what I've got planned because it might not happen, but whatever. You know, I've got stuff coming. I might even have stuff coming. That I want to do stuff. I could do. I would like to do stuff. I would like to make more things. I think that's probably all I can say. Thank you. Thank you for watching. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Discord. You can follow me on YouTube. Why not? It's free. I think for now, that's all I've got to say. Have a very nice October. A very nice Halloween. Goodbye.